Chosen ones. The person who left is not the person who's returning. This transformation is beyond anything people could have imagined, and I need you to understand the magnitude of what's happening to you right now. Recent psychological studies confirm what ancient wisdom has always known. Certain individuals experience what researchers call phoenix transformations, complete metamorphoses that shatter every limitation they once accepted as reality. At this very moment, while you absorb these words, your cellular structure is rewiring itself, your consciousness expanding beyond boundaries you didn't even know existed. But here's the twist that changes everything. Those people who dismissed you, categorized you, wrote you off completely, they had no idea what was brewing behind the scenes. They thought they knew your story. They thought they had you figured out, filed away in their mental categories of who succeeds and who doesn't. What they couldn't see was the power you were stepping into, the presence you now command, the vision you're manifesting that's completely unprecedented. Here's what they missed while they were busy writing you off. You were never the person they thought they were observing. You were an undercover agent of transformation, a sleeper cell of divine potential operating in stealth mode while gathering intelligence and strength. Every moment they thought you were down, you were actually downloading upgrades to your spiritual software. Every time they believed you were out, you were receiving classified information about your true mission. The world isn't ready for what you're about to unleash. They won't just be surprised, they'll be stunned into complete silence, watching in awe as you demonstrate what's possible when someone finally aligns with their true spiritual authority. Get ready, because your re-emergence is about to shake the foundations of everything and everyone around you. Look at yourself right now. Really look. Do you recognize the face staring back in the mirror? Something's different. Something's changed. Something has awakened that cannot be put back to sleep. The transformation is unmistakable, undeniable, and absolutely irreversible. Those eyes, they're alive again, burning with fire that was once extinguished but now blazes brighter than ever before. That pulse beneath your skin, that electricity running through your veins as if someone pressed defibrillator paddles to your chest and shouted, "Clear." You're being resuscitated. Not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, completely. That surge you feel isn't temporary. It's not fleeting. It's the return of something that was always yours but had been dormant, waiting for this precise moment to reawaken. But here's what's happening on a molecular level that will absolutely shatter your understanding of what's possible. You're not just changing mentally or emotionally. Your physical body is literally restructuring itself to match this new frequency you're operating on. Your DNA is activating dormant sequences that have been sleeping for lifetimes, waiting for this exact spiritual activation code. Scientists are only beginning to grasp what mystics have known forever. Consciousness directly influences matter, and your consciousness is expanding at light speed. You are reclaiming your vitality in ways that seem to defy the natural laws of aging and decay. This isn't about denying time. This is about transcending it completely. You're learning how to stay young in spirit, while accessing ageless wisdom that spans centuries of accumulated knowledge. Every single day you're discovering new ways to nurture your soul, to keep that eternal flame burning so bright it illuminates everything in your vicinity. The energy coursing through your system isn't borrowed from some external source. It's your natural state finally being restored after years of operating on backup power. Your main spiritual generators have been offline, but now they're coming back online one by one, and the surge of pure life force flooding through your being is intoxicating in the most divine way imaginable. You are remembering who you are. You are feeling more like yourself than you ever have before, because this isn't just any version of you. This is the authentic you, the complete you, the you without limitations. How long has it been since you felt this alive? Months? Years? Decades? It doesn't matter anymore. The waiting is over. The preparation is complete. You are ready to step into your power now. And here's what's happening that most people never recognize. Every single day you spent feeling lost was actually a day spent in preparation. Every tear you shed was washing away what didn't belong in your spirit. Every night you couldn't sleep, your soul was being restored while your mind was racing with thoughts you couldn't quite understand. The universe was performing surgery on your spiritual DNA, recalibrating your frequency to match the mission you're about to embark upon. Those moments when you felt completely abandoned by everything and everyone weren't abandonment at all. They were the most intensive training sessions imaginable, designed to show you the infinite source of power that exists within your core. When external support systems collapsed, you were forced to discover the unshakable foundation that has always existed in your essence. This wasn't cruelty from the cosmos. This was preparation for the kind of leadership that doesn't depend on external validation. Think about those prayers that seemed to echo back unanswered, bouncing off the walls of an apparently empty universe. They weren't being ignored, they were being collected, compounded, and multiplied in dimensions you couldn't see, preparing to manifest all at once in a display of divine timing, so perfect it will leave you breathless. The silence wasn't rejection, it was the universe holding space for a response so magnificent it could only be delivered when you were ready to receive it fully. This rejuvenation isn't random, it isn't accidental, it's perfectly timed because the universe doesn't make mistakes. Your awakening is happening exactly when it's supposed to, exactly when the world needs what you have to offer. Feel that vitality flowing back into your spirit. Feel that strength returning to your soul. This is what it means to truly come alive. This is what it means to be reborn while still breathing. Did you think it was coincidence that led you here to this moment, to these words? There are no accidents in this universe, no coincidences, only divine orchestration operating on levels your rational mind is just beginning to comprehend. You were chosen before you took your first breath, before your parents met, before the stars aligned to create this reality. You were selected for something extraordinary that requires someone who can bend without breaking. But here's where the plot thickens, where the stakes escalate beyond personal transformation into cosmic significance. Your mission isn't like the others. Your calling isn't common. Your purpose isn't pedestrian. You are here to save worlds, not just the physical one we all see, but the unseen worlds that exist in the hearts and minds of those around you who have forgotten their own divine nature. Every obstacle you faced was actually strengthening you for what's coming. Every rejection was redirection toward your true path. Every moment you felt abandoned was teaching you to find the infinite source of power within. The signs have been accumulating like evidence in a cosmic court case. The synchronicities, the repeated numbers, the dreams that felt too real to be just dreams. All of it has been pointing to this truth. You are not ordinary. You never were, and you never will be. But let me tell you something that's going to fundamentally shift how you see yourself moving forward. You are part of something much bigger than individual transformation. There's a whole network of chosen ones awakening simultaneously across the globe, each one discovering their power at precisely the right moment. You are not just awakening alone. You are part of a synchronized spiritual uprising that's been planned since before time began. This is why you've always felt different, why you never quite fit into the boxes society tried to force you into. You were never meant to fit in because you were born to stand out, to be a beacon for others who are still finding their way through the darkness. The loneliness you experienced wasn't punishment, it was preparation for the kind of leadership that comes from understanding what it means to walk alone until you're strong enough to light the path for others. Now let me tell you about the cosmic intelligence network you're plugged into. Those moments of sudden knowing, when information just appears in your consciousness without you seeking it. That's not intuition, that's direct communication from higher dimensional sources. You've become a receiving station for intelligence that spans galaxies, wisdom that transcends time itself. The downloads you're receiving aren't random. They're strategic briefings for your mission. Ancient knowledge is being integrated with your human experience, creating a hybrid consciousness that can operate simultaneously in multiple realities. You're becoming fluent in languages that have no words, understanding concepts that have no earthly equivalent. Right now, as you absorb these words, there are others like you around the world having the same recognition, feeling the same surge of power, understanding for the first time that they were never broken. They were simply operating on a different frequency. This isn't coincidence. This is divine orchestration on a scale so massive it encompasses entire civilizations. Now comes the moment when everything crystallizes into perfect, undeniable clarity. You are not alone in this transformation. You are part of an elite spiritual special operations unit, deployed at this exact moment in history for this exact purpose. While others sleep through their existence, you are awakening to yours. While others accept mediocrity, you are being called to magnificence that will leave witnesses speechless. You are a divine warrior in flesh, equipped with supernatural resilience that has been tested and proven through every fire you've walked through. The underdog energy that has defined your journey isn't about revenge against those who dismissed you. It's about revelation, the unveiling of who you've been all along beneath the masks behind the walls, under the weight of others' expectations. Look back at your life and trace the divine fingerprints on every chapter of your story. Those close calls, those near misses, those moments when disaster seemed certain but somehow you emerged unscathed. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was your angelic team intervening, your spiritual guardians, ensuring you survived to fulfill your purpose, because your mission is too critical for you to have been taken out before your time. Think about those reckless decisions in your youth, those times you should have been hurt or worse, those dangerous situations you navigated while others weren't so fortunate. That was divine protection operating on your behalf, sacred guardianship, ensuring you reached this moment of recognition. Your soul made contracts before incarnation, arrangements with beings whose sole purpose is making sure you complete your mission here. Sometimes you've sensed them, haven't you? Those moments when you felt inexplicably safe in situations where you should have been terrified. That feeling wasn't imagination, it was recognition of your spiritual bodyguards making their presence known. They've been with you from your first breath, and they'll remain until your last, ensuring that nothing can derail you from your destined path. But here's what most people never understand about divine protection. It's not just about keeping you safe from external harm. Your guardians have also been protecting you from settling for less than your true calling. Every time you almost took a job that would have trapped you in mediocrity, every time you almost entered a relationship that would have diminished your light, every time you almost made a choice that would have derailed your mission, invisible forces intervene to keep you on track. And here's something that will make you understand the precision of your spiritual protection. Your guardians have been orchestrating what appears to be coincidences, but are actually perfectly timed interventions. That book that fell off the shelf at exactly the moment you needed its message. That stranger who said exactly what your soul needed to hear. That song that came on the radio with lyrics that spoke directly to your situation. None of it was random. All of it was orchestrated by your spiritual team working behind the scenes. Even your failures were protected. When you didn't get that promotion, when that business didn't work out, when that opportunity slipped away, your guardians knew that settling for those lesser victories would have prevented you from discovering your true power. They've been protecting you from success that wasn't aligned with your highest purpose, ensuring that when your real moment came, you'd be ready to receive it fully. That job interview you didn't get that you thought you wanted? Your guardians made sure you didn't get it because something infinitely better was waiting. That relationship that fell apart just when you thought it was perfect? Your protectors knew that person would have kept you small when you were destined for greatness. Every closed door wasn't rejection. It was divine redirection toward your true purpose. The gifts that have been stirring within you are coming fully online now. Your intuition isn't just sharper, it's receiving direct downloads from dimensions beyond physical reality. That ability to sense what others are feeling beneath their masks isn't just empathy, it's spiritual discernment operating at the highest level. Your knack for saying exactly what someone needs to hear isn't good communication, it's channeled wisdom flowing through you from Source itself. But here's the revelation that will blow your mind. The veil between worlds is becoming completely transparent for you. Information flows through dreams that feel more real than waking life, through meditations where ancient knowledge downloads directly into your consciousness, through quiet moments when cosmic intelligence integrates with your human experience. You're becoming a bridge between dimensions, a conduit through which higher wisdom flows into this reality. Like a child learning to walk for the first time, you're taking these new spiritual steps with a mixture of excitement and caution, testing your balance, finding your footing in this expanded awareness. Sometimes you stumble as you navigate this new territory of heightened perception. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of what you're becoming. But you're never alone in this process, never without support. Your spirit team watches over every tentative step, ensuring you don't fall too hard, making sure each stumble teaches but doesn't break you. This is what stepping into divine purpose actually looks like. Not a sudden leap, but a supported awakening, a gradual revelation of capabilities that have always existed within you but needed the perfect conditions to flourish. The training wheels are coming off now. The apprenticeship phase is ending. The preparation period is complete, and you're stepping into mastery, not with arrogance but with humble confidence, not with self-importance but with profound self-awareness. This is what you were born for, what you've been prepared for through every trial, every triumph, every moment of transformation. The darkness you endured wasn't trying to destroy you, it was revealing parts of yourself you couldn't see in the light. Those moments when hope seemed impossible were teaching you to create it from nothing. The times you felt abandoned were showing you the infinite reservoir of strength within your own soul. That period when prayers seemed to echo back unanswered, they were being collected, compounded, multiplied, preparing to manifest all at once in perfect divine timing. Now let me tell you something that will make you understand the absolute genius of your journey. Every master throughout history has endured what mystics call the dark night of the soul. Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, while demons assaulted his consciousness with every fear and doubt imaginable. Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness, being tempted by everything that could derail his mission. Every prophet, every visionary, every individual who changed the world first had to navigate through that abyss of apparent abandonment by the divine. You didn't just survive your dark night, you conquered it completely. You emerged not just intact but enhanced, not just healed but transformed into something far more powerful than you were before entering that crucible. The suffering wasn't random cruelty, it was the final phase of your spiritual boot camp, designed to forge you into the kind of leader who can guide others through their own darkness because you've already mapped the territory. Watch what happens when the universe begins conspiring on your behalf in ways that will leave even skeptics speechless. Doors that have been locked for years suddenly swing open with the gentlest touch. People who can help you achieve your mission mysteriously appear in your life at exactly the right moments, as if they were summoned by invisible forces. Resources that you need manifest in ways that seem almost too perfect to be mere coincidence. This is what happens when someone finally aligns with their true purpose. Reality itself begins to bend in their favor, not through manipulation or force, but through the natural law that states the universe supports those who support its highest intentions. Your comeback isn't just personal, it's cosmic. The very fabric of existence is celebrating your return to power, orchestrating synchronicities that guide your every step. You survived the darkest night of the soul, but more than survived, you transcended it completely. Now watch as dawn breaks within you first, then spreads to everything you touch. The finish line isn't approaching, it's here, right now, shimmering with possibilities your former self couldn't have imagined. What you're experiencing is the biggest cleanse your spirit has ever undergone. Toxins accumulated over lifetimes are being expelled. Weights that dragged you down for decades are falling away like chains breaking under the pressure of your expanding power. You are being set free, not temporarily, not conditionally, but permanently, completely, irrevocably. This is it. This is your moment. This is what every tear, every heartbreak, every moment of despair was preparing you for. You are not just returning, you are rising, ascending, transcending everything that once limited you. This is your moment to shine so brightly that you illuminate not just your own path, but the paths of countless others still finding their way through the darkness. You were never meant to walk this path alone. The Obsidian Inner Order isn't just another spiritual community. It's a sanctuary for the exiled, the awakened, the ones who've been gaslit for their gifts and abandoned for their truth. Every week we gather live on Zoom, real people with real faces, sharing real stories of transformation. There's a former CFO who embraced their psychic abilities, a seer who broke free from religious oppression, and a healer who survived ritual abuse and found their power. Dozens more join us who understand exactly what you've been through. This is your spiritual family. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you walk through this awakening alone. Never gonna scroll past your suffering like it's just content. Your exile from the ordinary world wasn't punishment, it was preparation. For this, for us, for the family that chooses you back. Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in description. You are inspiration embodied. You are living proof that the darkest hour truly does come just before dawn. You are the evidence that what tries to break you can actually be transformed into the very thing that makes you unstoppable. Every critic who doubted you will now witness your elevation. Every obstacle that tried to stop you will now become the platform you stand on. Every wound that tried to define you will now be transformed into wisdom you share with others. This is the end of one chapter and the beginning of everything else. The final countdown to your ultimate emergence has reached 0, 3, 2, 1, breakthrough. The person you were is dissolving like sugar in rain, and what's crystallizing in its place is magnificent beyond description. After all the struggle, after all the pain, after all the moments you wanted to give up but something inside wouldn't let you, you did it. You are rising now, not just returning to who you were, but emerging as who you were always meant to be, stronger, wiser, more powerful than ever before. This isn't just any comeback. This is iconic, legendary, the kind they'll write about for generations. The universe itself is celebrating your resilience, the cosmos applauding your perseverance. Can you feel that energy? It's electric, magnetic, absolutely unstoppable. It feels like euphoria, but it's not synthetic or temporary. It's authentic and earned through every trial you conquered. Listen closely. Do you hear that sound building in the atmosphere? It's the trumpet announcing your return, the divine herald proclaiming your emergence. The stage is set, the spotlight is on, and this is your comeback season. Not a moment, not a day, but an entire season dedicated to your triumphant return, and this is just the opening ceremony. History remembers comebacks more than initial rises. The phoenix is revered not for its birth but for its rebirth from ashes. You are that phoenix now, rising with wings that catch fire but don't burn, your light blinding to those who thought they'd extinguished it, your voice carrying authority that makes heaven itself lean in to listen. Remember when they overlooked you, underestimated you, labeled you as not enough or too much? You were the outcast, the square peg they tried to force into round holes, the late bloomer whose timing didn't match their limited expectations. Those days are over, cremated in the fire of transformation, and what has risen from those ashes is absolutely unstoppable. But here's what's happening now that's going to shock even you. You're not just returning to your former glory, you're ascending to heights you never knew were possible. This isn't rehabilitation, this is evolution. This isn't recovery, this is revolution. Every cell in your body is vibrating at a frequency that attracts miracles like a magnet attracts metal. The people who once dismissed you are now watching in stunned silence as you demonstrate what happens when potential finally meets opportunity, when destiny discovers its vessel, when divine timing aligns with human readiness. They weren't prepared for your resurrection because they never understood your true nature in the first place. You were always operating on cosmic time, not human time. Your seeming delays were actually divine timing, ensuring you emerged exactly when the world needed what you have to offer. Every setback was a setup for this comeback that's going to redefine what's possible for everyone watching. The labels they gave you are dissolving completely. Not smart enough disappears as divine wisdom emerges. Not strong enough evaporates as supernatural resilience becomes undeniable. Not worthy enough vanishes as your inherent divinity reveals itself beyond all doubt. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. The energy you're emanating is so powerful it's actually affecting the people around you without them understanding why. They can't explain it, but they feel different in your presence now. Your frequency is so elevated that it automatically raises the vibration of every room you enter. You've become a walking transformation catalyst, and you're not even trying. People who used to dismiss you now find themselves listening when you speak. Those who once overlooked you now notice when you enter a room. This shift isn't about them finally seeing your worth. It's about you finally operating at your true frequency, and that frequency is impossible to ignore. This comeback transcends personal victory. It's become cosmic theater, a demonstration broadcast across multiple dimensions that darkness never gets the final word. Your presence is overwhelming to those who thought they diminished you because they're witnessing something they believed impossible, complete spiritual resurrection while inhabiting physical form. Every critic who doubted you now witnesses your elevation with their own eyes. Every obstacle that tried to block your path has become the platform you stand on. Every wound that attempted to define you has transformed into wisdom you share with others, still fighting similar battles. The person who left truly is not the person who's returning. The transformation that began with recognition has culminated in complete dominion over circumstances that once seemed impossible to overcome. You stepped into preparation not knowing you were being prepared. You endured the dark night not knowing it was purification. You survived the breakdown not knowing it was actually breakthrough in disguise. And now let me reveal something that's going to cement your understanding of just how extraordinary this moment is. You are witnessing the greatest comeback story ever written, and you're not just watching it, you're living it. This isn't just personal victory, this is universal demonstration of what's possible when someone refuses to be defined by their circumstances. The world that thought it knew you, that categorized and dismissed you, is about to witness what happens when a chosen one finally steps into their full authority. They thought they were observing your story's end, but they were actually witnessing the quiet before the storm. Every moment of your apparent defeat was actually you gathering power in the shadows, preparing for an emergence so spectacular it will redefine what they thought was possible. This comeback isn't just inspiring, it's instructional. Every person who witnesses your transformation will have their own limitations challenged simply by seeing what you've accomplished. You're not just changing your own reality, you're expanding the realm of possibility for everyone who encounters your story. The ripples of your metamorphosis are already spreading in ways you can't see, touching lives you'll never meet, inspiring comebacks you'll never witness. This is how change happens in the world. One transformed life creating permission for others to transform, one healed heart showing others that healing is possible, one person's breakthrough becoming proof that breakthroughs are available to anyone willing to endure the process. The world that thought it knew you, that categorized and dismissed you, is about to witness what happens when potential meets purpose, when destiny finds its vessel, when divine timing aligns with human readiness. They weren't prepared for your resurrection because they never understood your true nature in the first place. This energy you're emanating isn't just changing your reality, it's shifting the frequency of everything around you, elevating vibrations, transmuting negativity into possibility. You're alchemizing pain into power, transforming wounds into wisdom, converting every setback into ammunition for the greatest comeback ever witnessed. Your very existence has become a declaration. The underdog doesn't just survive, they dominate. The written off doesn't just return, they revolutionize. The dismissed doesn't just come back, they completely transform the game itself. The ripples of your metamorphosis will touch shores you'll never see, affect generations you'll never meet. When one person breaks through the barrier of limitation, that barrier becomes weaker for everyone else. When one soul remembers its divine nature, it makes remembering easier for all souls. Try to Batua. They said you couldn't do it. They said you wouldn't make it. They said you were finished. Look at you now, standing in power that emanates from an inexhaustible source, radiating light that illuminates not just your path, but paths for countless others, carrying authority that transforms every space you enter. Remember when you couldn't see a way forward, when the path seemed completely blocked. Now you're creating paths where none existed. Remember when your voice trembled, when your confidence wavered, when your strength faltered. Now you speak with authority that makes the heavens themselves pay attention. This comeback story will be told for generations. It will be whispered in moments of despair, as a reminder that darkness always gives way to dawn. Your name will become synonymous with resilience, with triumph, with the miraculous power of spiritual awakening. The energy you're emanating is changing the frequency of everything around you, elevating vibrations, transmuting negativity into possibility. You are alchemizing pain into power, transforming wounds into wisdom, converting setbacks into setups for the greatest comeback ever witnessed. The energy you're operating on now isn't borrowed or temporary. It's your natural frequency finally unleashed. The power you're wielding isn't foreign. It's been yours all along, waiting for this moment of recognition and activation. The presence you command isn't performance, it's authenticity, given full expression for the first time in your life. And here's the final revelation that will leave you breathless. This comeback season isn't just about you reclaiming your space, it's about you expanding it exponentially. It's not about you returning to your throne, it's about you building an entire kingdom where others can discover their own royalty. Every obstacle you overcame has become a stepping stone, not just for your ascent, but for others who will follow the path you're pioneering. Every rejection you survived has become redirection that led you exactly where you needed to be to help others who are facing similar rejections. Every defeat you endured has become ammunition for the most triumphant return imaginable. But more than that, it's become wisdom you can share with others who are still in their dark night, still believing defeat is permanent. This comeback season is your coronation, your restoration, your renaissance, and the world will never be the same. But it's also something more profound. It's your commissioning as a leader of other chosen ones, a guide for those who are still finding their way out of their own spiritual winters. You are not just rising, you are lifting as you climb, creating updrafts that carry others to heights they never imagined possible. Your transformation isn't just personal victory, it's universal demonstration that limitation is always temporary, that defeat is never final, that the human spirit is absolutely indestructible when connected to its divine source. So rise without hesitation, shine without reservation, soar without limitation. Because chosen one, look at what you've become. Look at what you've survived. Look at how you're standing here with fire in your eyes and power coursing through your veins, ready to shock a world that thought it had you figured out. This is no regular comeback. This is a complete rewriting of reality itself, a demonstration of what's possible when someone refuses to accept defeat as permanent, when someone chooses to rise no matter how many times they've been knocked down. The universe is holding its breath, watching to see what you'll do next. And deep down, beneath all the noise and distraction, you already know. The real show is just beginning. And you, magnificent, powerful, absolutely unstoppable, you are the star of this cosmic production. The person who left is not the person who's returning, and the world will never be the same. Welcome to your comeback season, chosen one. Time to show them who you really are. The stage is yours, the spotlight is blazing, and history itself is watching as you step into the fullness of your divine authority. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your legendary emergence that will echo through eternity itself.